Hey, good evening, Marcia. I am hearing you a lot better. You're not sticking as much as before. It's a pleasure to be here again. Thank you for the opportunity. Firstly, I just wanted to give thanks to Barbados, the entire um, country, all who came out in support of and to stand with Ronnie, the announcer Clark, on Saturday. Usually in our culture, when there's rain, people tend to not come out in their numbers, and that was not the case on Saturday. So it was very heartening to see persons coming out and supporting the announcer on Saturday. So, firstly, thank you to all the persons that came out. Thank you to the loyal opposition. Thank you to the members of BACA and like I said, the general public and Barbados for coming out and supporting the announcer. Ronnie delivered as he promised. He brought evidence, he brought facts to refute the claims that were made by Starcom Network in the newspaper articles when they said that the dismissal of Ronnie Clark had nothing to do with the song that was sung. And Ronnie brought evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence, letters, emails that he would have received, dating all the way back to 2024, October 2024, November 2024, up to 3 days before he received the award for outstanding service at Starcom Network. So for the time I saw the statement that was made in the press, it did not make sense at all. Because how can you be given an award for distinguished and outstanding service, and then you say to us that this dismissal has nothing to do with the song that was sung, but it has to do with the work performance of the individual, an individual who has had a stellar record for the last 25 years at the institution of Starcom Networking. So as well, I give thanks to Ronnie for being brave enough, being bold enough, and wise enough to have kept the documents that were sent to him. As you would know, throughout this entire ordeal, Baka was standing with, I should probably have started there. I speak tonight in the capacity as not just Apache as a calypsonian, but Sean Carter, the president of the Barbados Association of Creators and Artists. And as I was saying just now, from the beginning, from the inception, we have been standing with the announcer. We would have sent letters to Starcom Network from the time the song was banned. We asked for clarity, gave them an opportunity to clear the air, and there was very little response that came from Anthony Green when we sent our first letter. We followed up that letter with another letter. We got absolutely no response to the second letter. All this time, Ronnie said nothing publicly. You would have just been back and forth between Starcom Network and ourselves. At this stage, there was no need for Ronnie's legal team, his lawyer, to be involved because there was no disciplinary action that was taken against him. If you read even the letter that is on the screen, you will see it clearly states that there's nothing that is stating that you are guilty of any wrongdoing. There's no discipline. This letter does not say or dictate that it is a disciplinary action. So at that point in time, which would have been July, we the only thing that would have occurred at that point in time was punitive measures against the announcer and punitive measures for the release of the song. There was absolutely no reason for the song to be banned in the first place. There was nothing libelous about it. Four sets of lawyers vetted the song, found nothing wrong with it. Starcom themselves couldn't find anything legally wrong with it. There was nothing libelous, nothing defamatory. As was revealed over the weekend in Independence Square, um, Ronnie presented the letter that was sent to him by Anthony Green, which outlined that there was a complaint made against him, and the complaint was that there was a personal attack that was made against the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation.
Mr. Carter, if I can just pause you there and let's look
Sure.
because what's on this on the screen is actually it's verifying what you said, and there's nothing, I'm an accountant and I love source documents.
Yes.
And so I know you're summarizing it, but this letter that's on Starcom's letterhead, and was sent to, and I want people to take note of the date, because I think
Yes.
date is very, very important. The date, because when I saw 2024, I said back to Ronnie and I said, there's something wrong. The date is wrong. Didn't realize what was going on from that time. But let's just read a little of what it says here. And I'm just reading the letter, and that's on Starcom letterhead. Starcom will have to say whether this letter came from them or not, right, Mr. Carter? They will have to say that. But it says,
Yeah.
allegation of personal attack on Miss Carol Roberts. Further to our discussion on September 17, 2024, where we discussed the subjected matter, Starcom Network Inc. has launched an investigation into the allegation brought by, what did it read there? Barbados. I'm a teacher. What did it say? It was brought by whom? Miss Roberts. Miss Roberts alleges that she was a target of a personal attack on social media by the program manager of Starcom, Ronald Clark. Miss Roberts also shared via WhatsApp the insults made via your Facebook page. Insults. Now, what we want to do as well, while I just let you continue, I just wanted to read that for people.
Hmm.
And so they've launched an investigation because of what the allegations of this personal attack that was made by Miss Roberts. Is that what you read there, Sean?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. So this was the nucleus of the whole thing. This is the genesis of the whole thing. This is where it started. So from this letter, well, from the correspondence that was sent to Anthony Green, and then this correspondence being sent to Ronnie Clark, from the inception of this, I can tell you from back in May this year, May 2025, Ronnie would have reached out to me, and he would have made me aware of I would say, the harassment. He didn't use this word. I would use this word: the harassment that he had been receiving from management at Starcom, and namely Anthony Green. And this letter here that was shared publicly on Saturday for all to see and to hear. As he read it, as he showed it, hold it up, you could see the Starcom Network letterhead on it. This was shared on Saturday. This is where it all started. And the thing about it is that the post that was shared on Nobby Clark's page, which is a private personal page. This is not the program manager of Starcom Networks page. He's not even using his name, Ronald Clark. The page says Nobby Clark. He responded as a Calypsonian to remarks that was made publicly by the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation. I also responded to those remarks. So there was a statement that was made by the CEO at the time last year in August, and it was stating that um, the standard of the Pickety Crop finals last year was at an all-time low. I responded to it in a press statement. The announcer responded to it on his Facebook page, and as a result of that, this letter was then issued to him. Now, the thing about it is that you can go back now to the announcers or to Nobby's Facebook page, and you can see the statements that were made. You can see he announced that his song for this year will be called the National Carol Festival. There were a few lines from the song, so you could see that the lines that he had from last year, he brought over into this year, made it into the song. There was no personal attacks. It was a response to what was said by the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation. This is where the whole thing started. So for Starcom to say that this had nothing to do with the song, when not only this letter, but I don't know if you have the information, Marcia, but I have a whole set of letters and information that was shared on Saturday. I have now in my possession that I think you're unmuted.
I was saying, Mr. Carter, we're putting them out a little by little. So we
Right.
tried, we're not going to let go of this because if you notice, it's crickets. Right
Yes.
now, crickets. Nobody is saying anything
Correct.
because they're thinking that we're going to forget about it. But we're
Yes.
going to keep it alive. And they could
Um,
do whatever they want to do. But we're going to keep it alive. And we're just going to read their statements. So
yes. I agree.
this is just to corroborate what you are saying, Mr. Carter. Is that Dave, if you could go back to the first one you've just put up. Thank you.
Look at the date as well. These are the Facebook
Oh, yeah,
posts directly
let's go.
from Nori's page.
Yes, thank you, Sean. Dave, if you go back to the first one, very good. Now, August 16th, that August 16th there, Sean,
Yeah.
is 2024. And I love numbers. I've started actually doing a timeline of this, and I'm not finished yet.
Right.
When I'm done, I'm going to produce a timeline of the event so that people can
Yeah.
see it clearly. Okay? August 16th, the announcer, National Carol Foundation.
Right. And it's very clear here who is speaking. The
Yes,
announcer.
yes. Everybody, take your screenshots if you need to. Take your screenshots. See that this is a different age we're living in. They're not going
Yeah.
to hide. And that, the next one, Dave, go to the next one, please, kindly. Thank you. Because they're going to see that these are the lyrics. Might a word or two might change, but it's basically Kohabla pot gone, party
Yeah.
monarch gone. But think it not strange, only Carol's hairstyle won't change. Didn't we, isn't that what we hear in the song Apache thereabouts?
Exactly. Every lyric that is there.
Every lyric. So hold a minute. So then listen, Barbados. According to the letter we read before, these are the posts. These
Yes.
are the posts. So that means that is that what Miss Roberts was saying was a personal attack? So the song was personally attacking her? Is that what you're understanding, Sean, or am I getting it wrong?
That's exactly what I understand by it. And from my appearances here before and in my other public statements, the song is absolutely factual. I can tell you even before we issued press statements, some members of our executive were questioning certain lanes where in our letter or in our statement, our press statement, we were saying, the Calypsonian is speaking truth to power. And they were saying, no, you can't say that, you should say opinion. But it's not opinion, it's facts. If you go back to that slide and you see Kahabala Pot gone,
Mhm.
everything that he mentioned that was gone is gone. So the song is very, very, very factual.
Yes. You're
Very
right.
factual.
And so I want us to take this in slowly. That's why we're giving you a
Yes.
little bit at a time. Because we have I think I have about 13 different letters or something like that. Or
Yes, correct.
probably less, but pages, right?
Correct. Correct.
And we're giving you little at a time because I want you to understand what has happened here. And don't just, some of you say, well, it's just Ronnie. I want you to look beyond that. Okay. Fantastic 50th festival. And he
Hmm.
praises because in the song, and that's Ronnie's temperament. He's going to tell the truth. Whatever he thinks is good, he's going to say it. Pet
Yes.
orgy, he said, failed and flopped so miserably. Culturally, don't mind the talk. Carol should walk. That's his opinion.
Yes.
That's his opinion as the announcer. And he's writing his song. So obviously, he changed some of the lines in the song. National
Yeah.
Carol Festival 2025. He's giving the name of his song.
Correct.
Or you understand that is coming up. The next
Yeah.
one, Dave, Bring Back John King. He talks about this in his song too, right? Does he
Yes.
say
So
that?
this slide before that, those lyrics didn't actually find their way or made their way into the song.
Mm,
But some of the stuff on this slide here have made its way into the song as well.
yes, yes, yes. And right, and he, he did say that she does, whether she knows calypso and all of that. So I know as a writer, sometimes you start something, but it carries the same thing. You might change up a few things and so on.
Sure.
But the point is this: that this Barbados was the personal attack on a public official
Yeah,
who,
in
by
her
the way,
opinion.
went um it wasn't on the television. Was it in the Nation or Barbados Today? And can you say then that she attacked the Calypsonians, or would it be a critique? I'm sure you wouldn't say she attacked the Calypsonians. She gave a critique of the Calypsonians and said that basically that what the Calypsonians had to offer is less than desired. Actually, I think
Yeah.
that might be a quote.
Yes.
Can you speak to that, Mr. Carter?
Yes, I can, and I did at the time. And there's a reference there in one of those slides from the announcer that mentioned the fabulous 50th. And there were many things that there were a couple of things that were happening. There was Cricket World Cup, and then there was the 50th celebration as it relates to crop over, and there were many things that crashed. There were even issues at the finals last year, picking the crop finals. And like you were saying, the hypocrisy of the whole thing is funny. If it weren't so serious, it would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has they're saying to us, without saying it in words or in writing, they're essentially saying to us that she has the right to criticize all of the Calypsonians in the finals, and that is fine and that is accepted. But if one of these Calypsonians speak back or speak out, then it's a personal attack. So why wasn't it a personal attack on every individual Calypsonian when she made the comments that she made as it relates and as a result of the Pickett Cup finals last year? Because like I said, the press statement that came from Baca or that came from me through Baca was a direct response to these comments that were made. Those comments that were made on the announcer's Facebook page was a direct response to the comments that was made by the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation. So again, nothing personal. Just addressing the issue. The whole song, the National Carol Festival, came out of these comments that were made by the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation.
Hmm. So here it's saying that, and this is what I think it's important to
Highlight.
understand, okay,
Mhm.
and to highlight. Thank you, Sean. That the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation critiqued the Calypsonians.
Yes.
She did. And I know this is Dave's response, but she has a letter. There's a thing there that is, I mean, it's scathing what she had to say about the.
Yeah.
Look at what it left a lot. She says that the standard of some of the material presented in this year's social commentary segment left a lot to be desired. While the
Yes.
association acknowledged the value of constructive criticism, it argued that the tone and context of Roberts' remarks risk diverting attention from larger issues, I was reading there, surrounding the festival rather than fostering genuine improvement in the competition standard.
Correct.
Right? So are we saying then that the official can criticize? It's like, what are you guys, are children? You are her children, that you can't speak
Exactly.
back to her?
And you're dealing with a set of professionals. The majority of the persons who would have made it to the Pickety Crop finals in 2024 have been doing this thing for over 20 years. Just like Ronnie, no different to the announcer. They would have been doing this thing for at least 2 decades. And you could call the names. You could call Adrian Clark. You could call Ike Webb. You could call Mr. Blood. These are guys that are professionals. These are guys that have been to that platform, have been to that stage on more than one occasion. They know how to rise to the occasion. The other thing, why we said there was that deflecting by the CEO of the NCF is that on the night of the finals, the show started extremely late, right? You have the pressure of the competition. You have persons who are psyched out. And if you remember, even Webb himself, he was waiting so long backstage that when he finally came on stage, he had an issue with cramp that caused him then to forget his lyrics in his song. You had the first performer that came on stage. What's his name, Mr. DJ, where he forgot lyrics because when I got to the venue on the night, this is Pickety Crop Finals 2024. He was there in the wing waiting to go on stage. The show started like an hour later. So you were, as a performer, I can relate to it. You were there. When you are in the wing, you are psyched and ready to go on stage. It's different to if you're backstage in your dressing room and you're going through your different voice warming exercises. You're preparing yourself mentally and making sure you remember your lyrics. But when you are psyched and ready to go on stage, and then you have to wait an hour in a competition, that's disadvantageous to you. And that's why we said that, you can't deflect now and say that this was the poorest Pickety Cup finals that we've ever had, or that the standard of it was so low, when the conditions that the artists had to perform under was the absolute worst. So if you for the artists that were able to rise to the challenges or rise above the challenges that they faced last year, I mean, kudos to them. It was extremely difficult conditions for the Calypsonians to perform under. And the Calypsonians, it wasn't the first year, it wasn't the second year, it wasn't the third year, but how long do you go on without exposing, without speaking, and without speaking to the public? Because we would have had conversations at the National Cultural Foundation at that level where there was documented, and we filed a history of when we first went to Botanical Gardens with the finals, when we moved from Kensington Oval to Botanical Gardens. And that in itself created a whole set of problems, fresh problems came. So this whole thing, I don't want to go down this separate rabbit hole. We want to keep it
Yeah.
focused on the issue at hand. But that is where it all stemmed from. That is where it all started, right? There were issues at Botanical Garden from the first time we went there. There were issues again last year. These issues were highlighted privately in our meetings. But again, when you can know of these issues and then you can come publicly and criticize the Calypsonians that had to operate under these conditions, then we had to speak. And rightfully so, the announcer, as a passionate Calypsonian, he spoke as well. And
But
every other
that's right.
Calypsonian had the right to speak back and to speak out against, because like you said, Marcia, you're dealing with professionals, you're not dealing with children.
Correct. This is not my child, and I say I tell you this, and then you can't speak back to me. My as
Exactly.
the children get older, they're gonna say, "But mom or dad, this is the thing, and I think that you were not fair." Or why are you? Sometimes my son will say, "But mom, hold a minute, you're raising your voice." And
Yeah,
my youngest, he knows, and he's quite calm. He's letting me, you raising your voice at this point here now, and then you realize that you kind of step back. You understand?
yeah.
But I'm
It should be
saying
done. Should be done even like you're saying, even in a mother-son relationship. It should be done or built based on mutual respect. And we
correct.
ask
Mutual
nothing less.
respect.
We ask nothing less of the Ministry of Culture. We ask nothing less of the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation. Let us deal with these issues. We know there will be issues, but let me deal with them where there is mutual respect, not a talking down to and a criticizing and a pointing fingers at us when you did not do your part.
Yeah. And I want people, because there are lots of people, lots of viewers watching who they did not hear Ronnie's side. They did not
Right.
hear him, because that's the other thing about Ronnie, is that he's very professional.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
Ronnie, he never came to us and told, he didn't go into all these details. Afterwards, I said, my goodness, how could he be carrying all of this? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, up to just before he went to sing, I think the day before, after he did his, you can correct me, Sean, if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
when he went to do his technicals, After he
Yeah,
did it,
for
they
the
tried to
finals this
they
year.
tried
Yeah.
didn't they try to pull him? Didn't something they tried to do something there to create an issue for him singing in the finals?
Yes. So again, this was not public knowledge, but this was what was going on behind the scenes. If you, I don't have it here tonight that I could send to Dave, but
Mm-hmm.
I could make it available for future reference. But
Yes.
when you look at the contract, when you look at the rules of the competition,
Mm-hmm.
the NCF reserves the right to tell you within 48 to notify you, or they have to notify you within 48 hours after the finalists are announced. You know who the finalists are. You sign your contract the next day. They have 48 hours to notify you if you have to change lyrics. If your
Mm-hmm.
song has been deemed libelous or defamatory. Um, so Ronnie did receive a phone call. It was after, let me say that again, it was after the 48-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was not stated that the song was libelous or defamatory. However, they were saying that the song might be problematic. And I said to Ronnie, that is good because to say that a song might be problematic, that's not a legal term. So there's no legal issue against the song. So there's no need to change any lyrics. Plus, as Ronnie already knew while we were having the conversation, the 48-hour period had already passed. But he did receive a phone call. He did have a conversation with the um, the arbiter from the NCF, and this would have been, as you said, Marcia, just a couple of days before the pick of the crop finals on a Friday night.
So you're telling me that they were breaking their, if what you're saying is so, they were breaking their own rules that says after 48 hours, after the names for the pick of the crop finals have been announced, then within that period of time, they can ask you to change your lyrics. However, they came to Ronnie after the 48 hours had already gone, right? And they were now saying the song could be problematic, not to tell him what part of what lyrics he needed to change. Because I've been part, I've
That's
been around the festival, and there have been
yeah,
times in our tent when they would
yeah,
come and they would say that you have to change lines,
yeah,
etc.
yeah.
And
I
the reason
myself had to change lanes.
you've had to change that, so you know the
Yeah,
process.
I know the process. Yeah,
The process, and the process based on what was reported to you doesn't seem like the process was being followed. They wanted to do something behind the scene to stop this song. So what I'm
yeah.
going through all of this from the letter. Let's take it easy. From the letter that said that that
Personal
star come
report.
at the top of it, right,
Hmm.
and said that that allegations were made, thank you, brought by Miss Roberts
Yeah,
about the posts. We looked at the posts. We were very systematic tonight. We looked at what the posts were. And we saw that the posts made up 90 something percent of the song. Would you say that,
true.
Sean? So,
Yes.
therefore, and this same song, you are revealing to us now that the NCF arbiter approached Ronnie saying that the song can be problematic, possibly could be problematic, right?
Yeah.
After the 48 hours. Now,
After 40 hours. Yeah.
putting all of that together, I want to ask the audience, putting all of that together, it sounds to me that there was no way this song could win this festival.
So
That
it
might be,
does raise good questions.
uh,
This information that has been revealed over the weekend raises fresh questions concerning the competition, concerning the song, concerning the announcer, but also you can't, and this is not an accusation, this is a question. If it can be done in this situation, how many other times has it been done in the past? How many other phone calls have been made that would have jeopardized an individual? And the other thing is, if if you, Marcia, were to put something on social media against me, why would I have to go to your employer? Why not I go to you directly, or I get my lawyers to contact you directly?